Okay. Hey, everybody. So Andrea and I are working on a message right now for winter safety. We're having a great conversation. Oh, yeah, this is Andrea Vastis from the National Fire Protection Association. And you just said something super smart. Can you say it again? Because I think people will dig this. What were we just talking about?
So we were talking about what is it about putting the messages together that will make people actually say, oh, this does apply to me and I'll actually do something about it. And, one of the behavior change models we talk about is the health belief model. So it starts with perceived susceptibility. Am I going to be susceptible to this? Do I really think that fire is an issue for me? And am I really at risk for it? Then there's the perceived severity, right? Well, if I do have a fire, do I have time to get out? Or what's the real impact to me? Then there's perceived barriers and benefits. What's in it for me to go get a smoke alarm and install it and test it every month and all that? What's the barrier to doing it? I have to, go to a store. I have to install it. I have to know that it's working. And so really when we're thinking about putting together a message and we're trying to, talk about this thing is, here's the real risk that's before you. Here are some of the impacts that can happen. So for instance, I think about a candle. Well, how much damage can a candle really do? Actually, they cause billions of dollars worth of damage to homes every year. And then it's things like, well, okay, so if I can offer you an easy swap, right? So instead of buying the flame candle, buy the battery operated candle. That's kind of a one-on-one swap. That's not so hard to do. And so that's really the health belief model at work, is how can we position this for you so that you do take this seriously and it's easy for you to do and incorporate in your life.
That makes lots of sense. And so how does this apply to fire prevention? And can we have a concrete? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh no, I'm so I could do this all day.
Because I thought it was fascinating. So let's go deep dork here.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's turn it on to smoke alarms. Okay, and let's look at smoke alarms and the way in which we do it. Perceived susceptibility. How likely is it that I'm going to have a fire in my home anyway? Right. And then we have to start looking at some of the local data. And interestingly enough, right, the number of reported home fires has gone down since the 1980s, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
Our success is actually kind of the confounder here, because if it's less likely to happen, why should I worry about it? Right. However, here's the perceived severity. Actually, the home fires are more deadly today than they were in the 1980s. So there may be fewer of them.
Right.
But they're hotter, faster, and they give people much less time to get out because of synthetics and open floor plans.
That's right. And if I recall from a conversation earlier this year, you have less than 2 minutes, right?
Exactly, from the time the smoke alarms to safely get out. Now it's about benefits and barriers. Okay, so what's the barrier for me to get a smoke alarm? I have to go to the store and I look at all these smoke alarms in front of me. Which one do I get? Do I need the $20 one? Do I need the $50 one? How many do I need? A barrier is cost, understanding where I need them, how to install them, maintaining them, and then what's the benefit? And one of the hardest parts about the benefit of safety and health things is I'm preventing something. So it's not concrete, right? Now, when that smoke alarm, and if that fire happens, that smoke alarm is going to save your life. And that's the benefit that I'm trying to instill in you, is this is the peace of mind that you have with a smoke alarm installation program. And in fact, with having a smoke alarm. And in fact, that's why many communities have those free smoke alarm installation programs, to remove a barrier for you. To say, here, we're going to remove the cost barrier.
It can actually be daunting, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. So I cut you off. Is there anything else to say? Sorry.
No. That's really what it is. But that's why we use a combination of stories and data to make people understand the risk is real and the risk is severe, even if it, there might be something else. That's why we talk about cooking fires being the #1 cause of home fire and home fire injuries, because that's a real risk, right? And we cook every day, and we are busy, and we are constantly multitasking. And my fire service colleagues tell me all the time, the fires they're tending to are because people are just being, careless or distracted or doing something else. Close
to the stove that shouldn't be, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So with this, I'm going to just take a second to remind everybody to check out the content library that we have for Nextdoor for public agencies under fire prevention. There's some messages that Andrea and I have worked on that has a lot have a lot of this great data that you can use to share with your communities. Okay, Andrea, thanks for doing an impromptu video for me. Any last thoughts before I let you go here?
No, but thank you so much, because I could do this stuff all day. But it is meaningful, and repetition matters too. You know, I think is.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to do this is I like the science behind the communications kind of gets lost. And I think it's really important for people to understand they need to pair that data with the stories, and they need to consider, what were those 4 things again, the 4 topics?
Perceived susceptibility, severity, benefits, and barriers. And we need to understand your community's perceptions to be able to address those perceptions. And it really is, it's an art and a science to communicating the messages, crafting the messages, and to, you know, help people overcome that cost benefit analysis they're doing in their head when they're going to make some kind of decision.
Awesome. Thanks, neighbor. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.